Hi everyone, my name is Izumi Miyahara and I'm a faculty teaching artist for AFA. My instrument is flute. And we're going to talk today about how to warm up physically for playing your instrument, in addition to what you would do as a warm-up actually on your instrument. So first, without the instrument, we're going to start with loosening up the hands and the arms. So all you do is just drop your hands like this. No muscle effort in your hands while they're going down. So you have to use muscle effort for the hands to go up, and then you just drop them, like you're dropping something hot that you picked up. So if you do that for a few seconds, you'll feel that your blood starts moving in your hands and your arms. You might feel a little bit warmer in your hands and arms, especially if you haven't played yet today. Another one that I like to do is called finger stretches. So I'm going to take my left hand and gently move the pinky back while supporting it underneath with the thumb. And then while I'm doing this, I want to keep my elbow bent slightly and the palm opening up. So you feel a stretch across the palm. And then you're going to do the same thing with every finger, just a few seconds on each finger, so that you feel all of this stuff start to open up. And remember to keep breathing as you do this. And then once you're done with one hand, you'll feel the difference between the hands, the one you did and then the one you didn't. So we're going to do the other hand, starting with the pinky, pulling back gently on the pinky, supporting it with your thumb underneath, and opening up through the palm. The third exercise I'm going to show you is especially for wind players, brass players, singers, to get your breathing ready to play. You're going to put your hands on your ribs. You can go like this or like this, and just breathe normally. Feel for how your ribs move as you breathe. And as you're breathing, you want to feel all the way down into your feet. So you're connected, both feet to the ground, and your breathing is coming from your feet. Like you have a big bubble that starts at your feet and goes up like this, and you're filling in all parts of the bubble. And watch how my shoulders don't go up like this when I breathe, because when I do that, it creates a lot of tension in this area, and that's gonna hinder the way you use your air. So keep breathing with your hands on your ribs, and you wanna make sure you've got your palms of your hands on the rib bone so you can actually feel them move as you breathe. So you want to feel for both the inhale and the exhale. Now, having done those three things, releasing the hands, stretching the fingers, and getting ready with your breathing, you should feel a little bit warmer to start playing your instrument. Now, moving on to how to sit while you're playing your instrument. It's really important for all instruments that your feet are on the ground, because that's where you get your support, and your feet should be pushing slightly into the ground like you're going to jump up off of your chair. That'll help especially for wind instruments in our breathing. And then when you're sitting, be sure that you're sitting on your sit bones instead of leaning too far forward or too far back, and especially not leaning back in the chair like this. So you're going to sit up tall, back off the chair, with your head feeling like you're being pulled up towards the ceiling. And this goes for all instruments. I am a flutist, so I know about wind instruments, but brass instruments, string instruments, you want to sit tall when you play. Now for specifically on the flute, when you put your instrument up, you want to make sure that the end of your flute is away from your body, instead of having it parallel to your body like this. And that's because when you go like this, it cuts off a lot of the air on this side of your chest, and you want to open that up as much as possible. Another thing is you want to make sure that your elbows are away from your body, but not all the way up here, just comfortably away, like you have a ping pong ball under each armpit. And then make sure, especially if you are sitting in an office chair that has arms, that your elbows are not on the arms of the chair. And you'll hear a big difference if you sit up tall and support your flute rather than lean back or put your elbows on the chair. Another thing to watch for is hand position on the flute. This is very specific to the flute, but you want to make sure that your right thumb is on the back of the flute like this and not under the flute holding it up like this. And that's because if your thumb is under the flute, it's very hard to get these fingers to move fast when you want them to. If your thumb is pushing forward on the flute from the back, your fingers are much freer to move. And then your wrist is going to be in this position, which is slightly up instead of all the way down. This thumb will also help you keep the flute forward, away from your body. So you're actively pushing the flute away this way with your right hand and pulling it back slightly with your left. The last thing about the flute is when you're playing, and this goes for other instruments too, but most instruments are a little easier because you're oriented straight forward. On the flute, you kind of have to look over your left shoulder slightly, but you want to make sure you're sitting in a way that you can see your music. So a lot of times I'll sit with my knees facing away from the stand slightly so that I'm looking straight at the music like this. But if you are turned so that you can't see the music and your flute's in a strange place, it's going to be a little bit harder to play and it's going to restrict your air.